Thank you, Saurabh. Let me just share the live as well, and then you ask other our technical and supporter friends to share it. Thank you, Saurabh. Yeah, just a minute. I'm taking it. Uh, Let me just share the live as well, and then okay. Dimension. 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 Dear friends, now we are at the second international conference of Luminar Bangladesh and C Nepal. We already organized the international conference 15 days ago on the motivational issues and psychological issues, mental health issues of youth. We already had a very wonderful session before this. Today also we have four very nice speakers from Nepal, from India, from Bangladesh, and from Netherlands. We have our first speaker joined in our program. We are streaming live it from StreamYard. First speaker is Mr. Ganesh Shah, who is former Minister of Science, Technology, and Environment in Government of Nepal. He is also known as technology savvy leaders in Nepal. He has always been a motivator for youth. He has been a guardian and he has been an instructor for innovation, startup, and other new invention in youth development as well as development in science and technology. So we welcome you, sir, in our second international conference. Thank you.
Uh, Now may I speak?
Yes, sir. Please.
Okay, thank you, Abhinav Chaudhary ji, very much. Dear participants of this second international conference on the socio-economic impact of post-COVID, I think it is more than 4 months in Nepal and in so many countries. When we started that, the world words has become new words in the popular in everybody life, everybody word. You see, for example, the word lockdown. Before we know, as a politician, there is a curfew, there is a strike, but now we are talking about the lockdown. So we all have to see what was the impact of the lockdown in our life. You see, in our country, in our society. So all these things, all this pandemic, these 4 months or 6 months has let the world know what is the impact of such type of virus, or what is the epidemiologists say on this virus, how to be safe with this, what will be the impact that it will, if you are sick from this pandemic virus, COVID, then the family will be affected, you see. I was just recently talking to one of my friends, you see, that they were saying all the time the Amitabh Bachchan's, you see, that the wash your hands, keep social distancing, you see. And now when he was himself affected by the COVID, everybody was in talking with me, you see, you people are also doing only the advertisement but not doing the job properly, you see. So there are some things which you see has impact. So now I'll go 2, 3 things very shortly because I try to finish within 5 to 6 minutes. First thing is that how you are going to build the public awareness, literacy, understanding about this COVID. You see, how it is, what is the virus, how it is transmitting, how it should be treated, what are the precautions you should take. So one thing, very important thing is that, as you know, that in now just recently was reading, I think the study or the before study, that in the Khas metropolitan city, say in the New Delhi, there out of four, one is already COVID infected persons is coming, you see. So now, fortunately, Nepal has not been so much affected by the COVID directly, but our economy, you see, and the social life has been very much affected because in our countries or in whole Southeast Asia, our the health system is very very weak, and our understanding what you call or the infrastructure for the water supply, sanitation and hygiene is also very very poor. So this is multiplying. One is the virus effect infection, another is the poor health institution or structure of our countries in the whole Southeast Asia, you see. And third is the employment. You see, our employment sector is very much informal sector employment. So our employment is also affected. So health is affected, our employment affected, and third is you see our education, because till now we don't know when our schools will open. Those in our country or with other countries, they started the online education on the radio or on the television, all these things, you see, or what they call it the distance learning. But still, the poorest of the poor or the poor people don't have the access to any all these things knowledge. So, in the age of science and technology, when we are talking that there is a fourth stage of industrial revolution going. You see, we are talking about the artificial intelligence, but still there is no access to the electricity, water supply, basic human utility services. At this juncture, the new coming generation, especially I was talking just before in the morning, that the young generation will remember, for example, the people who are at the age of the 20 or 30, they will be remembering the COVID, impact of the COVID till his life, say 30 years, 40 years. So in the coming days, what are the impact of the COVID in our, first of all, in our daily life? Our life will be now on the new normal. Now we are talking. Started the before, if somebody was going in the mass, used look to be very very other ways. Now everybody say, please, when you go out, wear a mask. So a lot of things is going on the mask, how we are going to use it. Now there is a big need of the water supply, sanitation and hygiene. We have been talking on the hand washing, you see. Now the world has to learn on the hand washing, but then we need the water. So we talk about the hand washing, but where is the water? So there will be a lot of job. Young generation will face about the water scarcity, water security. So further generation will face the water problems. So how you are going to conserve the water? These are the things which I will come. So first is I talked about this COVID wash. Second is the what is our life has changed. We have seen. Second is the how is going to impact on our economy. I think researchers are saying that the economy recession is worse than the Second World War. The whole world is having a economic recession, and especially in the Southeast Asia, where there is a very informal economy, employment is informal. So this economy, how we are going to revive our economy, and especially I talked about the food, you see, because now there is a big deficit. There will be a big deficit of the food in this region. So how you are going to with our food supply chain, especially for the poor people, food, water, and energy. You see, these three things will be very, very affecting in our economy. And lastly, I'll talk about our how you are going to affect our social life. You see, we are involving our people or our house, you see, or our living. We enjoy our living together, you see. We don't want to live very far, you see. And so now in the society also, looking after the post, the affected people in our society, they have been, say, neglected in the family, You see, even if you talk to our the psychology persons, you see, the mental health problems, you see, because people has been all locked down in their houses or another thing. Society is looking with the bad eyes. If somebody is going on the street, if you are the COVID affected, oh, that COVID man is coming. He stay far from him. So all these, there's been a lot of in Nepal. There's been a lot of suicides of the people due to the so many problems, psychological, economic, and other things. So the society is going on the new normal. So our educational institution, health institution, our transport systems all will be rearranged. For that, we have to first thing do. I propose lastly three things. The first thing is that we must build our public awareness about the and literate our normal people, poor people about this all these safety measures. Second is the we must start our educational system, and lastly, we should know how to live in the new normal life. With these few words, I thank you again, the organizer, for giving me the opportunity to say my few expression. For your kind information, I'll say that as I work with the young scientific and technical community in Nepal, there is a national institution called the National Academy of Science and Technology, and with the help of the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, who are doing a lot of research and innovations on this COVID. So post-COVID era will be the era of the COVID science, I call it, COVID innovations, COVID investment, you see. So now everything we'll talk about the post-COVID. So with these few words, I again thank you, the organizer, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you very much.
Your very nice presentation. The youth who are watching from all over the South Asia are very much motivated with your kind words. But you said that you are involved with National Academy of Science and Technology, as well as we all know that you are working for the better environment. You are a very environment scientist as well. You are a water scientist as well. So in that context, when we were serving for the questions, there was a very rapid question. I think you can only give the best answer of that, since in the all the speakers panelists, you are the one who have been closely working on the environmental things. So you want to know, is COVID-19 really healing the environment, or what is the environment impact
You
of
see,
COVID?
all these things, you see, the environmentists were talking before also, you see, that how you are going using the all the natural resources. You see, so now there will be another moment. I call it the green moment, or you see, green living. So there will be the all economy will come up with the green economy. So there is an opportunity when you say with the green economy, there is a green entrepreneurship, there will be green jobs, and all the greens is related. As I told you, the water. So we want you see when there is a lockdown, there is no transport in every city, especially the urban areas. The people were seeing the greenery, less air pollution, clean air. So nowadays, now everybody wants to live in the clean air, because all you know that globally there is a 2.5 million air about people are dying with the air pollution. So this after the COVID, now everybody has to be very very cautious. If whether it's a politician, whether it's a planner, whether it's a decision maker, whether it's a scientist, especially the young generations, as you know that from climate change perspective, all we say disasters are coming, water, all these things. So that everything has to come up in the center. That why COVID came up. So now if say talking about the food, now globally now people are talking about the water footprint, their carbon footprint. Now there is going on to the more vegetarians. You see, so everything, the whole what we call the new normal life. The life will be changed another way. Everybody will try to say. I was saying in the tweet day before yesterday that in the Paris after the COVID there is the more bicycles on the road and there is less car on the road. So people will change the another way of life. You see, if you go to the school now you have to wear the mask. You see, wash your hands before. So everything will be like what is called the new normal life. We have to live and we have to adjust and we have to do the innovation. That's why talking that the post COVID all these things innovations has to be started, that you see how you are going to collect the samples, testing, the treatments. You see, it called they very simply call it SMS. You see, one is the safe is the sanit. Yes, one yes is for the sanitation. Another yes is for yes. I'm forgetting. Another is a mask. M is for the mask, and another yes is for the social distance. So now, if you are sitting in a restaurant, you will have to social distancing. You see, if you are sitting, you are speaking, you have to wear the mask when in the public. You see, so a lot of research, new things are coming in that. I think young generation, young scientists especially, has to be very very aware in that. Not only the scientists, you see, every sector, whether you have in the young especially, as I told you, you have to work. Those who are politician, they have to sit at the put in the center what was the impact of the COVID. Our national planning members had to think what will be the post-COVID things, what has to be done. What is the bureaucrats, what is the farmers. So it because the COVID has affected each and every person of the world. So the world, it is a global what is the effect has been on the thing. So for this globally you try to work together also. You see, we need a big cooperation, collaboration between the youth of the region and youth of the other countries also. So I think you are doing the international relations. I remember my young age when I was the students, where that time you are talking about global for the peace, friendship, solidarity. So now in the world, young generation has to talk about the globally how we are going to be connected, and this in your age you have the advantage of this information technology. Not only information technology, you have the advantage of the artificial intelligence. So young has to be more techno friendly, you see, and listen to the what the researchers, scientists are saying and all these things. With these 3 minutes, I will take leave because I have another meeting.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for being
Thank
with
you.
us, dear friends who have joined later. Let me remind you, we were talking with Ganesh Shah, who is ex minister for science and technology, and now also he is working closely for the for better structure for online courses in Nepal for remote students, as well as he is working for the innovations and invention in science and technology with the young scientists. Thank you, sir, for being with us. Thank you for your valuable
Thank
time.
you. Thank you. Thank
We
you.
are highly obliged for the time you take out to talk among the youth in this international conference. Thank you, sir. So now, actually, I had promised Mr. Sahdev sir from Hyderabad, the founder of Soham Academy. But before Sahdev sir, as Muhammad Didarul Islam sir is already online, I would like to hear first from him, then to go from Sahdev sir. So, dear friends who are watching us in this live stream, let me shortly introduce you, Mr. Didarul sir, here in the second international conference, where we are talking on the socio-economic impact of pandemic of in this pandemic of coronavirus. So, Mr. Muhammad Didarul Islam sir is the assistant professor, currently a PhD researcher at Leeds University, United Kingdom. He is also assistant professor at University of Dhaka. Previously, Dr. Didarul has completed Master in Religious Studies and Global Development from University of Leeds, United Kingdom in 2017. Before that, he has completed honors and masters both from from Department of World Religion and Culture, University of Dhaka in 2011 and 2012. He was awarded the Dean's Award, the Provost Award, Khaleda Monzoor I Khuda gold medal for getting first position both in Bachelor and MA. He has completed various research on the topic of the cause of the understanding the cause of the Rohingya crisis. Why do people become militant in the name of Islam, religious extremism in Bangladesh, cause and effect? Those research works were funded by UGC. He was invited at the Refugee Study Center of the University of Oxford to present his co-authorized research on the causes of the Rohingya Constitution on 3rd March 2020. So I would like to welcome Muhammad Didarul Islam sir here in today's second web conference of international conference on socio-economic impact. So sir, up to you. I heartily welcome you in the today's program. Now I would like to request you for your kind words. Thank you.
So thank you very much for giving me the floor here. And first of all, I would like to express my heartiest thanks to the organizers, honorable chair of today's session, honorable speakers of today's session, and the dear participants and listeners. So good afternoon to you all from Dhaka, Bangladesh. So, well, we were eagerly waiting for this session, especially the honorable participants and honorable speakers, those who were talking here. Already, we have listened from Mr. Ganesh Shah, who has been working closely with the government in Nepal. And the way he spoke to us, it was really brilliant piece because he showed something that might be influential in the near future in the new normal life. So first of all, once again, I would like to thank you all. So I have few notes to discuss on the COVID-19 issue and how COVID-19 response should go on in Bangladesh, and how can Bangladesh learn from other countries as well. How can public-private partnership can go on, and how can education can be in a better way, and quality education can be ensured through online, etc. So lots of things are there, but I will try to be precise as much as possible. First of all, when coronavirus hit in Bangladesh back in March 08, so Bangladesh got already more than 2 months to get preparation. But what we see, Bangladesh, India, this country, they fail to take proper preparation over 2 or 3 months. When already coronavirus was there in Bangladesh or in India, so then the government only after that started thinking how they can control the spread of the coronavirus, how they can control the number of deaths caused in different hospitals and in household settings. At the same time, what we failed to do, how China, what was China doing and what was Europe doing, we got puzzled because country like Italy, United States, United Kingdom, they all failed in containing the virus. So I think we thought somehow, come what may, let's see what it can cause to Bangladesh, especially in a hot, humid country or something. This kind of stuff were going on Facebook, and I think many policymakers they rely much on Facebook. That's why there was some lack of collaboration over there. So I have few specific reasons why Bangladesh could not, or why India couldn't act properly in the very beginning. First of all, it was a much delayed response from the government and from the stakeholders and the policymakers. Second of all, it was lack of inclusive policy, how our hospital management will work, how our volunteers will work, how our economy and how the economy, employment, labor market, our regular service industries, all this work together. We couldn't make a comprehensive policy framework. Thirdly, it was definitely lack of testing. Since I think I recall since March, and right at this moment we are doing testing more or less 15,000 a day. So it's not that much number because Bangladesh is a country of 180 million people, so we need testing of 50,000 people. Still, we fail to do that. At the same time, there are some mass irregularities in terms of hospital management, in terms of those who return to Bangladesh, we fail to make them institutional quarantine. So as a result, it fails. Now, what we see, later on, the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, she initiated some projects like especially stimulus packages were declared for the different sectors, for the farmers, for the garment owners. But yet, the garment owners, they sacked many garment workers. The private organization, they sacked many people. As a result, and taking the advantage of layoff and the post-COVID era, many organizations sacked thousands of people. As a result, people got unemployed and they're getting back to village right at this moment. So when they're at the village and when many people they don't have their job right at this moment, so the government should declare some more stimulus package for the entrepreneurs, the small entrepreneurs, those who don't have land property to show the bank that this can be used as my guarantee. So this kind of people should be given some extra advantage in getting some loans so that they can start their small scale business. And one thing we should remember that coronavirus kills. That's true. If unemployment and other service sectors are not fixed, then the situation will get worse. As a result, you see within the 2 months of the general lockdown, I can say, the general lockdown, Bangladesh opened up the economy, opened up the market, opened up every institution because Bangladesh is a populated country. People need food. People need money. Those who don't need to earn money a day, we can sit down somewhere else and we can say, please get locked down everything. But a rich puller who needs to earn his daily living, if he stays home, so he can't eat. He can't eat. He can't leave his family, 5, 6, or 7 member family members. So these were the things Bangladesh had to consider there. At the same time, Bangladesh had to consider about the impact of foreign returners. You know, Bangladesh, a big number of labor are working in Middle Eastern countries, in European countries. So they return. Many people return. How they will be relocated, how they will be used in Bangladesh economy. So still, Bangladesh government is trying to sort it out, and they have already declared some packages for them as well. At the same time, we have to consider our education policy as well, because you know Bangladesh higher education is highly subsidized. Bangladesh primary education is free. Bangladesh other education system in the middle level, higher secondary or secondary level education, to some extent they are subsidized. So in that case, more than 20 million people, more than 20 million students, especially, they are kept housed right at this moment. They are more frustrated right at this moment because it's already been 4 months. They don't have any job. In those circumstances, the universities, they have, especially the private and public universities, they have decided to go online for their teachings. So when they started online education, what we see, it's really hazardous because people don't have smartphones. People don't have well internet access. People don't have general mobile network facilities in many cases, lack of electricity as well. So the overall situation in terms of education, it's not that much that much favorable to go complete online education. But still, keeping online in touch is good, like so that our students, teachers, they get a regular communication, and it helps. It helps to get them like bit more enthusiastic in one sense, because they got frustrated over the last 4 months, and they don't. Many students will drop out. I tell you, it's estimated that nearly 1 crore students will drop out in the coming age around the world, probably around the world. So we have to think of it. We have to think of inclusive policy so that our socio-economic impact can be minimized. At the same time, what you can do, we can encourage the tech giants or foreign market giants to come over Bangladesh and start doing business. In doing so, Bangladesh can ease the rules and regulation for the uh, tech giants or other giant companies, so that they can easily start their business. Because in the list of doing business index, Bangladesh's position is not that much good. At the same time, what Bangladesh can do, Bangladesh can call the uh, powerful countries to invest more here. Like we can welcome foreign direct investment, and if we can use and relocate all those things properly, it will help to minimize the unemployment in Bangladesh. Because right at this moment, at least 10 to 20% people already left Dhaka, and many people have become unemployed. So we have to think of it. I am saying repeatedly about employment, because when people don't have job, they don't have food to buy, the money to buy food, then it will impact seriously in other stability of the government, of the society and state. And uh, in uh, in terms of restricting COVID-19 right at this moment, what the government should do. Still, we have time. We should encourage people to get it tested as much as possible. Because if we don't get the peak yet, still it's been 4 months, we haven't got our peak. So if we don't get our peak yet, then how can we contain this? How can we drop it down? So now we have to mobilize people to get tested more. Then the government, with their inclusive policies, they can contain this, and then after it will be reduced in a significant way. First of all, we have to get the peak. Still, we are not in the mode of peak, and this is evident in the statistics over the last few weeks or so. And this is not the case for Bangladesh as well. Country like Pakistan or India, they all have been suffering from this kind of this kind of problems. Problems the same, solution could be the same, but there should have been some inclusive policies. Like still, there is a difference between public and government organizations. So PPE could be a solution. Public-private entrepreneurship should be accelerated and should be encouraged from both sides. It's not all about investing money. It's all about, if you invest now, you will get the return tomorrow. If you invest people, this is our basic right. There are some good things as well in the post-COVID-19 era, what I see, especially countries like in Bangladesh or India, people will challenge more. They will ask more to the government, especially regarding their basic needs. Healthcare system in Bangladesh is largely marginalized for the poor people, and poor people usually used to go to government hospital. Now people will raise question. The government hospital should be the top priority of the government. The government hospital should be equipped with ICU beds and with all those things, so that a general patient, they can go there, they can get treatment, proper treatment from there. And the private hospitals, they will be questioned as well, because of private hospitals in Dhaka or in Bangladesh, they're very very expensive. So general people can go over there. And if I give you a detailed number, the big names, from educationists to military officer to the government officers or politicians, those who were very sick, they all went to CMH. CMH is a military hospital in Bangladesh, which is a well-equipped hospital. So why not in the government hospitals? Because government hospitals are not well-equipped and well-functional, except a few. So we should keep in mind that our health system should be restructured in such a way so that poor people and high-class people. I'm sorry for making this terms high class or poor people, like general people like me, so that I can go to a government hospital and get the best treatment like everyone. So these were the few comments from me. So thank you very much. I'm here, and if you have some other questions, I would be happy to answer those later. Thank you. And I look forward to hearing something from the other guests as well.
Yeah, thank you, sir. We have a question. I think you can answer it very well. The question
Sure.
is that do you think online education is effective? Does it ensures the quality education? A participant from the commented in the comment box.
Oh,
So,
well,
does online education ensures the quality?
Online education it can be an alternative to the mainstream education. It's a temporary solution, and it's not that students will learn so many things from online education. It's just keeping in touch with them. For me, it's just keeping in touch with them. And what the Dhaka University they are maintaining right at this moment, they are not pressurizing the students to join the class. They are encouraging them to attend the class so then they can keep in touch. It's not that they will learn everything from there, and nobody is claiming that online education is substitute of the mainstream education. So from my part, it can be a substitute. The quality of online education, there have a lot of scope to make some questions or raise some concern regarding online education here in Bangladesh, because students don't have proper smartphone or laptops. They have lack of internet facilities. Internet is very costly here in Bangladesh, and in remote areas, mainly where people live or students live, they don't have even the general network for mobile phone. I personally, when I got back to my village home a few weeks back, then I couldn't get enough internet and enough mobile network. So I struggled. Students are struggling, but at the same time, I can say it can be a good way to keep in touch so that they don't get frustrated. Sometimes, if they communicate with the teachers, with their friends, they can see them together. It can be a refreshing moment for them as well. So it's not alternative. It's just a temporary solution for them. But there is a chance of stigmatization as well in this kind of, because many people they can afford smartphones or laptops, so they think that they're marginalized, they're deprived. So that this sense can be minimized with some subsidies from the university, from the government, so that they can feel this. The Dhaka University they might introduce a project in giving the students, those who in need of that, some subsidy like $200 or $250 to them, and they're thinking of it. Before that, what the Dhaka University or many other universities in Bangladesh they did, they managed some fund. They distributed this funds to the students, those who badly needed it. People can easily talk, why didn't Bangladesh universities go online or something. Public universities, and regarding our considering our students need and something, we had to consider so many things here at Dhaka, here in Bangladesh. We had to consider so many things: our students, our teachers facilities, students facilities, everything. So it's easy to comment, easy to make, or easy to go straight online like the European universities or the American universities, but it's real difficult to get it implemented in an inclusive way. I again repeat the term inclusive way, because the motto of education in Bangladesh or in the countries like South Asian countries is to make inclusive policies, bring back everyone in an inclusive framework, so that no one can get deprived. So we should keep this mind as well. Thank you.
Sir, it was very nice. Thank you, sir. It was very nice presentation from you. We are very glad to have a very good speaker like you in our conference today. Thank you, sir. I would like to request you to be, if you are not busy, so that you just
I'm here.
yeah. Thank you, sir. Now I
And I
would
look
like to
forward to
request.
hearing from Mr. Shadab and
Yes,
Coach
did. Yeah,
from India and Netherlands.
Jan Kloet is also from Netherlands. He has also joined all the way from Netherlands. He is a social entrepreneur. Before we hear to Dirk Jan Kloet, we'll go with the Sahdev sir. Sahdev sir is Sahdev sir. His name is Komara Giri Sahdev. He did BE in civil engineering from Osmania University, Hyderabad in 1991. Then he did a master's in civil engineering from University of New Mexico, USA. Then he worked as an IT architect and consultant for several immense multinational companies in the USA for 16 years and in Singapore for 2 years. He returned to India in June 2011 in support of the cause to improve the quality of high school education. He is master trainer at Satyasai Vidya Bahini program, an initiative of Sri Satyasai organization for promoting the development and growth of the teaching community and schools, particularly in rural India. He is also founder of Sohan Academy of Women Excellence, somaacademy.org. Academy works with children of several schools in preparing them for a purposeful life. The academy imparts training in the areas of English language proficiency, mathematics, human excellence, robotics, yoga, and athletics. He is the founder and director at Stockholm Center for Advanced Computing. The center aims to take artificial intelligence and robotics to the masses. A premier member of iFocus mission, actively engaged in transforming youth into powerful leaders. He also loves to write articles on matters related to the fields of education, Indian culture, and spirituality on his blog, sohantimes.org. He is author of books on practical robotics, English proficiency, and Sanskrit slokas. So, sir, we warmly welcome you to today's international conference on the socio-economic impact of the pandemic COVID-19. We are very happy to get a motivational speaker like you. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for your time. So now we'd like to hear from you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. This is indeed an honor for me to be here with you all. I know there's a lot going on around the world in terms of the pandemic. There is bad news everywhere. Everyone is talking about what is going on around the world. I want to focus now a little bit on positive side of pandemic. What are we going to do about it? I'm not going to focus on the negative side of the things. I'm going to focus on you and me and what difference can we make in the process. Now, this pandemic is unprecedented. The word you have used, you have probably seen many times, unprecedented. That means it never happened before. And it rarely happens in once in a decade, once in a century. It's that rare. It does not happen very frequently. Now, I have to slightly disagree on this. There are events in the world that happened in the last 100 years that changed everything for humanity. Everything. Everyone knows about World War I and World War II. That changed everything. We were not there at that time when World War II happened. We were not there. But in the last 20 years, there was a significant event that happened during my lifetime. And I still remember that event. That event also changed everything across the world. It was on 11th September 2001. On that day, 2 planes crashed into World Towers in the United States. I was at that time in the United States, and I was watching this episode live on TV. And when I was watching it, I could sense that the entire world is changing now. It is changing beyond our recognition. There is going to be a major war and whatnot. We were all scared about our jobs. We were scared of our lives. I was a minority living on a visa in the United States, and I was worried. But nothing happened. The life moved on. Coronavirus pandemic is going to be the same thing. It has come into our lives. It is going to change a lot of things for us, but we are going to move on. We are going to have a better life after this. I will tell you how life remained better and how people took advantage of what happened on September 11th to make their lives better. You have to really think like a entrepreneur, if you want to call it that way, or someone who is enterprising enough in terms of thinking money everywhere, in terms of making our lives better no matter what the situation is. So I'll give you an example. Some wonderful things happened right after September 11th. Nobody was noticing this. The world was changing quite a bit. I was able to go to the airport, drop off a friend, go all the way to the gate, say goodbye and come back. That stopped. There are many things that stopped across the world right after September 11th. The same thing is going to happen after this pandemic. Everything is going to change. But how did people prosper? How did people bounce back in their lives? If I'll show you a small example here, a few examples. When the September 11 happened in the United States, in New York, suddenly there's a lot of opportunity for people to sell metal detectors. And metal detectors was a booming business. And there were also X-ray machines that were installed at many places to scan for guns or weapons. And this became very popular. People started buying them left and right. So if you see these companies that are making metal detectors or X-ray machines to scan people without touching them, and all these things, people saw an opportunity in making adjustments to the world that is changing around them. A lot of businesses came up. I'll tell you, in many of the universities in the US, there was funding from the federal government to help identify all the creative ideas possible to prevent a future terrorist attack in the United States. The same thing happened in the Europe. The same thing happened across many Asian countries. See, when this money started flowing in, there are many things that happened across the universities, many good research activities that took place. A lot of things happened. Lot of things happened. Now, this is one example. I wanted to go back that thing that happened in my own life. I can connect to number of things that changed, but yet people prospered. People's lives became better. The same thing I'm sure is going to happen after pandemic. I'll tell you how it is going to change in many ways. The example that I cited about the September 11th attack on the United States is an example of a courage, how people bounce back in life in terms of what is the thing that can go wrong, completely go wrong, and yet it did not go wrong that bad. It was not that bad. People bounce back. So they took advantage of what is supposed to be the worst thing ever to happen to the United States, and yet people came back. That is the example of how people can bounce back. Entire world can bounce back after a catastrophe. Now, pandemic is very, very different. COVID-19 pandemic is very, very different from what happened on September 11th. The impact was large on one country. The impact was very high on the European nations also. But in this case, there is not a single country in the current pandemic situation. There is not a single country that is not impacted. I will also say this without hesitation. There is not a single family in the world that can say, I am not impacted by COVID-19. It is very, very wrong to say that. If anyone is saying that I am not impacted by COVID-19, they are simply lying about it. Now, how do we deal with this? How do we come out of this and bounce back in a bigger way, in a much bigger way? How do we bounce back? Now, before we go into my thought process on the bouncing back aspects, I said I will talk to you. I'll talk to you folks. Many of the people, as I understand, are either late teens, teenagers, or early 20s. So you have a long life to look forward to, and you cannot go back 10 years down the lane. You cannot say 10 years back pandemic happened, my life got ruined, and it's because of the pandemic, otherwise I would be a superhero. That kind of excuse I don't want you folks to make. I don't want you to think in those terms. So how do you not make that mistake? Here's what I think. Fundamentally, we should understand, all of you should understand, what is your core competency. Many people, even in their late 20s or even after taking up a job, they are not sure about what is their core competency. What are you good at? If I ask many of you, many people will have hesitatingly 3 or 4 answers. I want you to think, what is that one core competency that will make a significant difference to your own life, to your community, to the job you take up, anything that you do. How is it going to have a significant impact? What? The core competency, your core competency, how is it going to have a significant impact on yourself and your community? Now, that is the first thing. The second thing is, if you see any crisis situation, the people who suffer the most are the people who cannot have control around their surroundings. If you see what happened in September, on September 11th, right after September 11th, the people who flourished are those people who came up with brilliant ideas on how to change everything, or how to adapt themselves to changes around them, and how to create, the key word is create something that will make this world a better place. Now, in India, I'm in India for the last 9 years. In India, I noticed the same entrepreneurial spirit, same business spirit, same enterprising skills that are coming up everywhere. You see, the pandemic, right after September 11th, I told you examples of metal detectors, X-ray machines, research at the universities, and all sorts of things. Now, what is happening in this pandemic situation? I'm sure you're experiencing in your own countries, in Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and even within India and in your own cities, you're probably noticing this. What is it? There are people who are very, very creative, and those are people who are making their lives better in spite of the pandemic. They are not blaming the pandemic for their problems. They are only saying, no matter how difficult it gets, I know how to come out of this. And what did they do? I have a friend who runs a business in furnishings, household furnishings. He sells curtains and all sorts of things. He's my childhood friend. And when his business completely stopped, what did he do? He started making the masks that people wear. He created an innovative solution that looks like a helmet. It goes like this in front of you. It covers you completely. Your facial expression is visible, and you're not touching your face. And the bacteria is not supposed to penetrate that wall you create around your face. He prepared that mask, and he's selling those masks not for a fortune, but good enough money. He is now making more money because of this mask that he prepared, that he invented, and more money than his furnishings business. See how people convert a calamity, a crisis, into a wonderful opportunity. I have seen many people across India who have come up with ultraviolet protection equipment. So one of our friends, one of the persons I know, created a box, small box. It looks like this. You go around the world, you go wherever you want, but once you come home, you can put your phone in that box, and after some time, with UV protection, all the disinfection happens. He created that in that machine. See, I'm talking about in this crisis situation, if you can think creatively within your community, within your small world around yourself, you can not only survive, but you can also make the lives of people around you much better. The crisis, if you look at it as a crisis, you can blame it all your life, saying it is because of coronavirus, my life got ruined. But if you convert this crisis into an opportunity, what happens is not only your life, your family's life, but also your community around you is getting benefited by you. Being creative is the most wonderful thing that can happen to everyone. Young people like all of you who are listening to me today, you have the most creative brain possible in this current generation. The reason is your life started with internet. Your life started with satellite imagery going everywhere. Your life started with 100 channels on TV. Our lives did not start with 100 channels on TV. Our life started with one channel on TV, that is from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the evening. That is all we had. But your case is different. Your life started on a much higher scale, a much better scale than most of us. So if that is the case, then you have higher levels of creativity to build on top of what you already have. We did not have that. We are probably, I can admit that we are probably less creative than you folks who are listening to me right now. Now, I want you to understand, if you are looking for a job, it is not going to happen. Please don't look for jobs. You look for opportunities to create. And when you're, I want young people to understand the difference between salary and income. They are totally different. Please don't confuse salary with income. Salary is what you get when you work for someone. Income is what you get when you work for yourself. If you can build income levels for yourself, you will be a wonderful person. I'm telling you, don't give me excuses like I'm still studying, how can I make money, and all sorts of things. I've seen several people who started making when they were still in 10th standard or its equivalent, and they were making wonderful money. At that age, they learned how to create things that can generate income for themselves. They understood very, very early in life the difference between salary and income. And I want you to do that. If you look for a job and blame the government, your country, our countries in South Asia are going to collapse, because the youth of the country should not be asking for jobs. The youth of the country should be looking for opportunities to create. Once you become creator, once you worry more about income than salary, everything is going to change. I'll tell you the difference between one thing that I wanted to add here. I wanted to tell you about what is wealth. You talk about the European nations and several nations that created a lot of wealth. What is wealth? In very simple terms, for you and me, I'll tell you what is wealth. Wealth is something that you can live with no additional income. Let's say I have X amount of money. If there is no income, no salary for the next 10 years, and I can survive with what I have so far, that is my wealth. My wealth should be measured in terms of number of years I can survive without making any additional money. If you can create wealth for yourself, that will be wonderful for you, your family, your community, and eventually to your nation, to your very, very motherland. I'll tell you one small example before I close. One small example of what I did. There were about 10 people who just got laid off from their job. So what I thought is, let me invite them, let me talk to them and see what is their creative potential. Are these people crybabies? If they are crybabies, then they are crying, oh, I lost my job, I don't know where I will get my money next month. Are these crybabies? Are these people creators? When I spoke to them, I found out that they are really wonderful creators. What do they need? They need survival money, not even salary. They need enough money to eat food that month, every month. I told them, if I give you an opportunity to provide you enough money, okay, enough money for you to survive, your needs, not your wants. If I give you that, what will you do? And then we started creating lots of wonderful ideas. In fact, all the 10 people right now are not worried about money, but they're always worried about what is it that they can do to create something that makes this world a better place. They're all thinking about, if you can think of some creation that makes this world a better place, though there are going to be enough number of people who are interested in bettering their own lives, and they need that. They will buy that from you. If they are going to do that, then you'll always make money out of it. You're not making money out of greed. You're not making money out of selfish interest, but you're making money because you are satisfying the basic requirements or needs of someone. I'll tell you the case of case study of India. India was a net importer of personal protective equipment, the equipment that doctors wear before they treat corona patients. Now it is in a position to export PPE equipment. How did they do? How did India do this? Because they were able to put together all the people who are manufacturing clothes, who are creating clothes and all kinds of stuff that they're not able to sell. They said, stop, can you prepare PPE for doctors? And they all did. Throughout India, all the people came forward and said, we are lying idle, we are not able to do anything, give us an opportunity to create something. And then they got this opportunity. India is now the net exporter of personal protective equipment. I want you to think, this importance of being able to create income, and therefore make yourself life better. Not only that, but also your community. And the fundamental rule, I'll tell you what is it that fundamentally drives every life. The fundamental thing that I believe is, if you are a giver, the one who gives the most gains the most or gets the most. Are you a creator who can give a wonderful life to someone in the form of something? The teaching that you give. I have seen several people who were struggling as teachers suddenly came with online tools. They learned the tools, they started teaching online, and they are making more money because of this online teaching rather than doing nothing. They did not sit down and complain that I don't have a job. They converted this opportunity. They learned how to use online video editing tools. They also learned how to give a lecture online sitting in the corner of a room. They are able to do this. Now, I want to challenge all of you to think in terms of what is your core competency that allows you to give something to your communities. And once you do that, the real magic happens. Don't worry about coronavirus. It will go away eventually, but you should survive. And when you survive, you should create magic. And that's what I want all of you to think about today. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you for your such a wonderful motivational things you put here to our participant joining today's web conference. It was really very nice hearing from you. It's really motivated me as well. Like you said, the most of the things you said were very much healthier part of life. Like only a life learner can express like this. With this, I will also like to request you to say our youth 3 points that what a youth should do to be happy. Like makes a man happy. You see, mainly this is a youth conference, so I would like to ask you to just express 3 points that can make youth happy in this pandemic situation, sir.
Okay, I think again, to be happy, happiness is a state of mind. You tell your mind what it wants, and if it can generate happiness, that is all there is. I think in this pandemic situation, you'll see a lot of people that are struggling. They are much worse off than most of us. Can you step out and talk to them for a few minutes? Staying away, maintaining the social distance, talk to them, hold out you don't have to spend money on them. Just talk to them, ask them what's going on in their lives. How are they, what are they thinking about making, how are they thinking about making their lives better? Just talking to them will give you a lot of happiness to yourself and also the person you are talking to in this situation. The second thing that I wanted to see is convey is think of giving, because it is only the giving that makes you a powerful person. What should you give? You don't have to give a lot of money. You can give whatever you have in terms of knowledge, in terms of a skill. Can you train someone that you know and the other person does not know? And in the process, if you can make money, good. If you cannot make money, can you still give it? The ability to give is the one that makes you sleep very well in the night. You should be able to give as much as possible. The third thing is, don't make money the most important thing in life. If you make money the most important thing in life, then what happens is lack of it will create a lot of happiness. Presence of it will make you a lot happy, but there is no guarantee that what you earned is going to stay with you forever. But if you make money the most important thing, you will invite unhappiness one way or the other. That's why make money the second or third or even fourth most important thing in life, not the first. I think those are the things that I talk to my children mostly about, and I wanted to convey the same. Thanks, Abhinav.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for such a good motivational speech, sir. We are highly obliged to get a speaker like you. Thank you. And in this program, I would also like to thank Mr. Jagan Metla, who is also my very good mentor, my elder brother, who connected me to you. We'll again hear from you in our next conferences as well, because we had a time constraint today. We already had two speakers, and then you were there. But we will also like to take more from you, as you mentioned that art of giving is much important than art of taking. I believe that art of giving is such a wonderful weapon. So thanking you, I will also request you to stay for a while, since our friend from Netherlands, Mr. Dirk Jan Kloit, he is a social entrepreneur. He is a very good friend of mine. He was here in Nepal in last year. In this year as well. So he spoke on a sustainable lifestyle in a program organized here in Kathmandu by me. So Dirk, Jan, DJ, we are highly grateful that you joined. You take you some time to speak in our program. We are very much happy to see you in today's web conference of what is the socio-economic impact of this pandemic. So we are very excited to hear from you. So it's up to you, DJ. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abhinav. I hope everybody can understand me very well. As you said, my name is Dirk Kloet. That's in Dutch. But my friends are calling me DJ, so you can say DJ as well. It's maybe easier. It's a shortcut for for my name. I'm from the Netherlands. Indeed. There are also many things going on in Europe. Many changing are happening around us, within us. Many problems are arising. Many ideas are creating to solve some of the problems, and that's also why I'm here, of course, to tell you all the solutions of the coronavirus. No, that's joking. That's what I see in Europe. We have this habit of when there a problem arises, immediately the first thing we want to do is we want to focus on the problem and come up with solutions. You see, and then we think like, okay, there's something happening here in the world, and this coronavirus is coming and gets us. We can't even see it. We get scared, and from that position of being scared, we try to give a reaction. And for I think many people and many countries will experience this coronavirus virus in different ways. That's what I see. Some people take some time for themselves. Some people gonna start a lot of online classes or whatever. But for me, it was pretty clear to, instead of going into the reaction mode, to stop for a second, to just stop and breathe. Because maybe this coronavirus is sending a message to us in the world. That's what I feel. It's sending a message that maybe we sometimes want to go too fast and want to do too much. And instead of only go and go and go and go, maybe it's also time sometimes to listen to ourselves and to take a breath and to listen what is happening around us. What do I see in the news? And if you have that clarity and you see what's happening around us, that's a challenge to see what's happening. What can I do? What is the thing that I can do for myself? What's the thing that I can do for others? And what is the thing that I can do for all the other creatures that are alive, for our Mother Earth. That's also maybe sending a message to us at this moment in time that it's maybe good to take a breath at this point, not only for the world around, but also for ourselves. So I want you, instead of telling you like, hey, maybe you should do this or this during this COVID period, I rather want to ask you some questions, and that's what's in your eyes and in your experience is happening around you or within you. What is really happening, and what is the thing that you need? What do you need for yourself at the moment? Do you need some rest? What do you need? Some love? Do you need? You can fill it in. It's up to you. What I started with is everybody experiences Corona in a different way. Everybody needs different things at this time, maybe. Some people like that. I want to make a deep bow to the speakers that were before me, the politicians who are working on the world problems and the new policies, and all the people who are making the best online courses and try to reach out to you. But my question is, we are with young people here, and maybe that's also why Abhinav invited me, because I didn't do big things this time, and I wanted to, because this Corona happened, and I thought like, hey, how can I solve this problem? And I kind of took the responsibility for this problem on my own shoulders. But my question also to you is are we as young people responsible for what's happening around us? Are you responsible? Or are all the people responsible? Is the West, Europe responsible, or America, or Asia, or who is responsible? Or is this maybe not the right question? Is it maybe the question, what is my ability to respond? So what you do is you take the power to yourself, and instead of looking to the world, what's happening, like, whoa, how can we attack this massive Corona thing? What we think, but we cannot even see it. That's also so interesting. Something that we cannot see. It's so small. It's such a big impact. But what is the ability for me, personal, to respond to my family, to respond to each other, to respond to myself? What can I do, and what can I not do? And that's for me also a big challenge in this time, because I know that a lot of young people are very motivated, and me as well, and it's sometimes a hard time. And I think I prepared some things now to tell you, but I feel now that it's maybe better to just be open and be vulnerable to you, because I'm also scary. I'm scary that I cannot go back to Nepal, for example, because I started a small business who organized trips to Nepal, and maybe it's not possible for me to do, and then I don't have an income, and that makes me scared a little bit. Yeah, you can be honest about that. So it's affecting me in a way, in a way, and I can focus on that being scared, or I can just feel it. I feel it now. It's like a little bit scared, or I can think like, okay, but what can I do? Oh, I have time for myself now, because I don't have to work. If I don't go to Nepal now, maybe I have some time for myself. I can read books. I can listen to podcasts. I can write for myself, or I can do meditation, yoga, or running, or start eating healthy. Wow. And then suddenly, hey, my mind started to change. You can see it. in my face, and I get my power back. You see, I'm back in my own power and in my own ability to respond. So what I do is, first for myself, I run, meditate, yoga, all those kind of things, read good books to get me in a good state again. So think, what do you need? What can you do? And from that place, if you do that for yourself, that's an act of loving also for yourself. You nourish yourself. And that's a very good place from that place to react to others. If you are scared, and from the scared position you react to others, maybe you make others scared. But if you first keep yourself centered, then you're more in your own confidence, in your own self-love, and you can overflow it to others. So that's why I always say to people, the least or the best thing you can do for the world around you, no matter what happens, is to love yourself. And from that place, you can see, what can I do for others? And you can read the newspapers, and there are so many things going on, and people saying like, oh, this is happening, so many people died. But you have eyes. And if I look with my own eyes into the world, and I see some people fall, I can walk to him, and I can take him with me. If I see somebody crying, I can hug that person. If I see somebody is building a house and I know how to do it, I can say like, hey, let me show how to do it. So look through your own eyes, see the reality around you, and see what's inside you. And there's so much inside us, also in young people. Maybe not a PhD yet, or maybe not a big company, but there's ambition, motivation, inspiration. You also got your own experience, your own unique talents. We're not all equal. Some people did a study and they learned a lot from that. So we are all different. Some people are good in this, some people are good in that. We're not equal because we all have different capabilities, but we are all equally unique. Everybody got something unique. And the challenge is, can you find it? I also see some questions going on. This is, I think, my message for you. I prepared something, but I just feel like, because we're with young people, maybe it's better to speak to the heart this moment. Anyways, maybe it's interesting to go in interaction with you guys and see if there are some questions. So, Abhinav?
Thank you, DJ, for being with us. It was indeed a very good presentation from you. Actually, in this pandemic situations, youth in our platform are mostly from South Asian region. So it was very nice to hear from European youth leader like you, a youth activist like you, to them. So the main thing is that, am I audible, DJ?
Yes, I can hear you.
So, the question goes for you is that you have also visited South Asia, like you were in India, you were in Nepal. I last time you talked with the Bangladeshi friend as well. So many of the South Asian youth, they want to be like, they want to make lifestyle like in Europe. So, have you observed this kind of feeling in Nepalese youth or say Indian youth? Like when you were in Nepal or India, so many people have said that, okay, take me to Netherlands if you can, or like they may have asked you that how can they go to Netherlands, stay there, earn there. So why do you think that is the situation that people's want to do people's want to go to Europe? Meanwhile, we have a question from Imam Habib that is a similar kinds of question, DJ. Can you find any similarity between your country and South Asia? So please relate both the question and elaborate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the questions. Um, the answer is inside of you. I think it's there. It's not about what you do. It's about the how, and it's about the why you do something. So I visit Nepal, and I experience a lot of people in Nepal and India. They want to go to Europe or to America, and they think that then they will become happy there, or that the opportunities are here. That's kind of in the belief system of many young people in Asia. I think it's already changing because I come in those countries for 4 years now, and I see already that there is already actually a shift. That I meet so many young people who see opportunities in their own country, and especially with this global shift to online. Like I'm sitting here, and you're sitting in India or Bangladesh or Nepal or whatever you are. So what's actually the difference? And I think it's about finding your own uniqueness and where can you add value with your own uniqueness. And that can be everywhere. That can be in Europe. Are you going then to Europe for love, for adventure, for also giving something there, adding value to Europe? Because also in Europe, it's not perfect. There are so many things wrong here. On Facebook, it's perfect, and we cannot complain because our systems are. We have school, we have social security. So I'm deeply grateful that I was able to grow up in a country like this. I'm really deeply grateful. But that's one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is that there's also what I feel if I see to countries like Nepal and Bangladesh and India, that people live more in acceptance. People live more in the moment, in the now, closer with family, closer with the heart. And there's and then that's just from my perspective. But I see. And there are many things. If I come up, there are much more things that are so beautiful in the country. So see what's the uniqueness of your country or yourself is, I think, the most powerful thing. Is even more powerful than your country, because if you can identify with your own uniqueness, that's the most beautiful thing. And where can you add value? In Europe or in your country, online, offline? There are many possibilities. So I don't know if that's an answer where you're looking for in your on this question. What about the COVID-19 effect situation in the Netherlands? Is also maybe something I can say because I'm from the Netherlands. So maybe it's also interesting to share a little bit. The effect is it's very hard to say in a short word, but if I would say it quickly. The biggest effect is the raising of our awareness of nature, our awareness of our connectivity, that if something happens in China, it comes directly here. So it makes us more aware. That's the positive side. The negative side is the negatives. Yeah, maybe it's not positive or negative. Maybe it's not nice to anyhow label something negative. Because it's just a label. It's the way you see it. But the negative thing, what people say, is that, yeah, of course, there's a lot of struggle in especially small businesses that are struggling to earn money, like hotels, bars, things like that. There are also some people died, mostly old people and weak people. So it's those people that are in need. It's also like I didn't visit my grandparents for since it started, for example. So there's some loneliness that's also our effects. But yeah, is our and there's still a lockdown. We keep 1.5 meters separated from each other in the public space. And it's changing now. We see what's possible to do and what's not possible, what can be open or not. It's not a total lockdown. It's never been. We don't wear the mask as well, but that's more like we can talk about those things. But that's country has its own things with that, and that's not for my expertise to say something about it. But anyway, our country didn't, for example, chose to wear the masks. So that's interesting. Why some countries do and why others don't. Maybe it's also a big experiment in the world. Instead of saying like, "Hey, there is one solution," maybe there are more things. And I think it's important that we share that more also on the higher level, the policy levels. And I think also the world leaders are doing that very, very nice. And I think as young people, it's very important to share our personal stories, and and also see if we can help each other and inspire each other to for you as a beautiful human being to make the most out of this time for yourself, because then you can overflow, you can give it to others.
Thank you,
Thank
DJ,
you.
for your good words. Thank you for answering all the questions there in the comment box as well. We are running through the time. We have just more 5 minutes left in our program. So before we conclude, and I thank all the guests. And before we conclude, I would like to ask the MD of Luminar Bangladesh, Mr. Arifin Haisorab, to give a vote of thanks to all the speakers. Today, Luminar Bangladesh and Sanitation, Environment and Energy are jointly organizing this web conference. Arifin Haisorab, can you just give a short vote of thanks to all our speakers today?
Yes, hello everyone. First of all, I would like to thank every speaker who have given us time to be here and give their precious speech. We are very thankful from the people of Bangladesh and all other countries of South Asia who are watching this conference. I would like to thank first of all Mr. Ganesh Shah. Then I would like to thank Mr. Shahadev Kumar Giri, founder of Socio-economic Academy. Then I would like to thank Sir Mr. Didarul Islam, Assistant Professor of University of Dhaka. Then I would like to thank DJ from Netherlands. We are arranging these shows because we can go outside much in these situations here in Bangladesh and also other countries of South Asia are not good to conference in future. So keep connected with us. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Arifin Haisorab. He leads the Luminar Bangladesh. We are at the end of the program. At the end, I would like to thank Mr. Ganesh Shah, who is former Minister for Science and Technology of Nepal government. He's also helping the Nepal government with his expertise on technology and science and innovations in invention as well. So, and also I would like to thank Mr. Mohammed Didarul Islam. He is Assistant Professor, University of Dhaka. Then I would like to thank Mr. Sadev Komaragiri. He is the founder of Soham Academy India. And then I would like to thank social entrepreneur from Netherlands, Mr. Didarul Islam. So thank you all. We will be in touch, and we'll be doing these great programs like this ahead as well. I wish for your cooperation in coming conferences as well. Thank you, sir. Thank you all for your time. Thank you all for your wonderful presentation. Thank you all for the motivation you did to the young people watching this. Thank you, sir.